Seems like I am streaming live on YouTube now. I don't know how accurate that is. I think we've done it. I think we have done it. That's great. Let's see what happens when I do this. All right. That's good, but how can I change where the actually it doesn't really matter that much, but I want to change where the actual camera is pointed on the stream. Whatever, I guess this is it. Anyways, while we get this started, let's just yap around here. So, morning everyone. Hope you're all doing well. We've managed to stream without like 17 different streaming things, which is great. I figured out the internet, Brian. I've done it. Everything is good to go. So let's talk about these markets, some of the news. We'll talk about what had happened yesterday, some expectations for today, taking it slow, going step by step and seeing how this works. So yesterday we saw that the markets peaked a new intraday all-time high, right? Added again, traders, investors, everyone's celebrating after that CPI reading that allowed these markets to drift higher, right? Drop in CPI, everyone's super happy about that. So the drop was fairly small in the CPI data, but who cares? The rate of inflation is still holding well above the 3%. All that matters is that Jay Powell has signaled that the next rate move is likely to be down and not up. Market's happy, everyone happy. So on that note, major indices are notching fresh all-time highs from yesterday. The meme stock rally has recharged, but has dropped fairly significantly recently. And it also feels like new stimulus checks are just coming in and everyone is just throwing that back into the market. But it's probably not the case, probably not going to happen. So the Dow Jones Industrial Average did trade above the 40,000 marker for the first time ever on Thursday. We got to get those Dow 40K hats. That's a must. We'll get the S&P, the SPX 6,000 caps next, 20,000 for the NASDAQ. There's nothing like some big round numbers to get a lot of bulls excited, but the economy has still been resilient despite many macro pressures. Corporate earnings season has even been better than expected, and consumer spending still appears to be healthy amid a tight labor market. Excuse me, there was no avoiding that. So the Dow is one of the oldest US indexes that was first launched in 1896. It almost took a century for it to gauge and reach that 10,000 marker, but subsequent milestones are only getting quicker and quicker. 20,000, right? Half of what it is right now was reached in 2017. And it took less than 4 years to climb to 30,000. That's around the pandemic. And each 10,000 points also gets easier and easier with things less exciting in percentage terms. So there are key differences between the Dow and other market indexes. The Dow is US centric and only tracks blue chip companies in limiting the number of sectors. The Dow Jones is also price weighted. It's a price weighted index, meaning that it's valued through the shares of its 30 components versus market cap weighted like the S&P and the NASDAQ. So as a result, changes in the highest price stocks have a bigger influence on the index, while stock splits and other factors call for regular rebalancing. We'll look at a few other things, right? We saw that, where is it? Let me see if this does anything here. Walmart. That's the other thing I wanted to look at. We'll throw Walmart on the screen here. Walmart on the spotlight, right in the spotlight, I should say, after delivering a powerhouse quarter. The biggest US retailer benefited from high-income shoppers hunting for lower prices as well as growth in the digital advertising sector. So shares notched up into all-time highs on Thursday after a split fairly recently, this year actually. And Wall Street analysts are confident that the winning streak can only continue, given that the retail giant's ability to take market shares and its outsized market expansion. So many analysts are a bit more cautious, saying that expenses related to the new initiatives and ongoing competition with Amazon, Aldi, Kroger will ultimately catch up to Amazon. In terms of some of the other news here around mortgages and whatnot, as it looks to stave off the deeper property crisis right in China, it has announced a sweeping rescue package that includes easing mortgage rules, allowing for local governments to buy units to convert to affordable housing, and vowing more efforts to ensure that the delivery of unfinished homes. The measures come as price on residential real estate slump in China, with April witnessing the steepest sequential decline since the crisis began in 2021. So Chinese stocks ended up the session higher on the news. The SSE composite index finished up 1%, and the Hang Seng Properties Index finished up 2.5%. In other news, there's not too much today. We got Fed's Waller and Fed's Daily speaking. Fed's Waller comes on at 10. I don't know if you can see this Walmart actually, but this is Walmart into new highs here. We got Fed speakers later on today that come out on the wire, and there's not really too much news around that after that. So looking into this S&P 500 from yesterday and the NASDAQ, we dropped a decent bit right into the end of the session. The overnight tried to put some kind of weakness back into this market, but right now there's a bit of a climb. As I'm looking at this, I'm very cautious about this delta and whatnot. So let me just, we'll have to change this, right? The trade plan for the day. We'll do May 17th here. And realistically, we have a barrier that is at 53, 22 to 24, we can say 21 to 24. That's going to be the major pivot for today based on the start of a distribution area that would, if we accept, pull us down towards that 5,300. Above, we can look for that like 36 area realistically, and maybe even higher. So that's going to be a major pivot for today. We're seeing them getting a bit stuck into these highs, a lot of buying that's transpiring into that high around that 26 currently. That's kind of staving off a little, but that's going to be a major pivot for today, and seeing potential longs into 5303 area, and then potential shorts maybe into that like 35, 36. So we'll leave that as the plan for today. With the NASDAQ, let's look at this. We'll change these figures here so we have the plan right in front of us, so we're not super confused about this. But realistically, longs to hold that 670 area, right? That's a major pivot for today. A lot of selling got trapped into the lows yesterday. That was a great long. And then we're below that area right now. We'll see if prices want to sustain some kind of sell pressure through that area. Otherwise, if we manage to hold it and continue higher, honestly, I'll be looking for some kind of rebound where some shorts possible into that 710 area. Otherwise, like, it's still, I would say, fairly long oriented above that 670. And then we have some longs that could transpire around that 610 region. So that's what I'll be looking for in terms of trades for today, in terms of the opportunity on the NASDAQ and the SPOOs. And what is this? There's not really too much else that is going on right now. These are the main areas that I would like to see prices sustained realistically. So I don't know if this stream is, why does it say private? I got to figure out this internet stuff again. So let me see here. We'll move this over here. Let me just jump on YouTube. And while that's happening, we'll put Boxy on here, talk about oil, and we'll review the equities more in depth after.
Good morning, Vic.
Morning, Steven. How you doing?
All right. What are you up to today?
Not much. Just trying to figure out the internet and technology.
Figure out the internet. Just don't break it.
We'll see how that goes. Let's see here. So we should, okay, we'll record now since we were. Anyways. And you can go ahead with oil.
Okay. Well, good morning, Victorio. Good morning, TradePro Academy. Oil market is up. about 70 cents higher than we opened yesterday. We have rolled up to the in contract. The M really volume down after yesterday. So we're on the in. You can see that the pivot is sitting at 78.64. We caught our open this morning somewhere in the looks like the 79 lower 30s. Put a Globex high of 79.39 just right before the open. So it's working up towards R1. R1's up at the 79.53. It's just kind of grinding its way up. And so we are in a upwards trend because we've been coming up since about 7:30, making higher highs and mostly higher lows, although we are kind of challenging the higher low idea right here at this moment. So as far as next best trade, let it get above the open, and then on the retrace, you can get long. If you want to short it, you're going to probably have to wait for the VWAP to do it with any kind of any kind of chance of real success, high probability. Pivot's sitting at 78.64. We may get down there today. We'll just have to see. We'll watch it and trade it and let you know what's up. Victorio, back to you.
Perfect. Thanks. We'll cover a bit more of the these equities, give it a bit more juice and understanding as to why I chose these areas and what that means for us. Because yesterday, we got a pretty indicative flip of the order flow as well as the structure on the S&P and the NASDAQ. So yesterday, once we started failing and there was buying getting trapped into like 42 area and volume accumulating there, we got a pretty sizable flip to the downside where I was cautioning, like, I'd probably stop buying this. But right now, what happened into yesterday's close, let me see here. What happened into yesterday's close, you can see we closed over here around like 17 or whatever it was. And then we're accepting into this like distribution a bit lower here off the reopen of the session. And we held fairly well around like 23 on the overnight. We pushed down again, marking a slight new low around 13, I think, traded. So right now we're rebounding from that area. It is Friday. There's a tendency for the buy side to try to accumulate. So I'm going to be watching this. You can see on the DOM here, we have a lot of delta that's building up into these highs. That could mark some kind of immediate absorption off this open. So I want to really watch how that trades because it's just going to be a main pivot today, right? I'm going to be pivoting off this like 22 to 24 area. If we can just accept on the bit above that, like I'll be targeting that 36 where a lot of selling and traders actually got trapped into yesterday's close. And then seeing if anyone wants to trade above that. But if we start moving above this, honestly, like it's going to make for a decent long. It's going to be a nice long for the day, and we'll try to keep on that trend. But on the offer, like I would really like to see them trade into the high volume areas around that 53, like 02 to 04 to the downside, where a lot of that delta had accumulated on Wednesday after we like had that massive rally and rebid into the end of the day realistically. So I'm leaning flat, like very neutral for today. I don't want to like anticipate these things without the actual move and the order flow telling me what's going on first. But it's very good to have a pivot so I can be decisive of like where I want to be in terms of this with like some fade opportunities higher and lower. But generally speaking, I'm just going to give it a lot of time here to kind of expand. Last Friday kind of didn't do well at all. Honestly, I took just like I think like 3 or 4 losses in a row, and then I was just like, all right, like NASDAQ saved me, and that's not what I want. That's not a position I want to be in. So I'm going to give it a lot more time. This past week has been a lot better, and what I'm looking at on the NASDAQ here, NASDAQ's already trying to accept a little higher here. It's doing some damage. There was a lot of delta that formed yesterday. They got absorbed into the lows, and we got a nice little pop from there. But now below that 670 area, that's going to be a region I'm going to be very, very cautious of. It's going to be a pivot similar to the S&P 500. And if we can actually offer under it, I'm going to be targeting 610 to the downside, and then we'll see what happens from there. But above these areas, honestly, 710 is a very strong target. So I'm just going to play it on the pivot. I don't have a strong bias right now. There is a slight lean to the downside based on the flow that was happening and the auction into yesterday's close, but we don't want to get like too crazy and too handsy with it. So that's where I'm going to leave it off with this. That's the plan for today. We've got a lot of time until the open, I would assume. A lot of time, yeah. About 15 minutes, so we can fill that with nonsense. We'll put Fatty on here, see if you guys have any questions. And what I'm going to do actually, let me just do one thing here. And then we'll get back to the regular scheduling. Let me just change one thing. Let's see if Fatty's here.
What's up, Victorio?
Hey, Fatty, how you doing?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm staring right at you, Victorio. The camera is like right there. Like, is that on purpose?
Yeah.
Good. Yeah. Okay. Let's go. Yeah, like a lot like Victorio. I'm not leaning
No, I just
anyway.
if
I'm
I
trying to.
when I don't share the screen, it it'll just like put my face on.
No, I'm here, Michael. Can you hear me? You did 12 points. Vic's camera froze.
Yeah, you're actually your screen is what's shared. It's not your
My
screen, your name is what's primed.
Oh yeah,
being this.
yeah. My
Yeah, he's back.
no, we're back. We're back. Let me see here. Some of these things are loading, sir. We lost us for a second. Is it all good now?
Yeah, yeah, it's fine, Vic.
Okay. So I'm just doing one thing here. Whoops. Do, 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 do. Okay, we should be back in business here, I think. We got this is the plan for the day into these. I've scribbled them up here. And let's see. Let me know if you have any questions as we get ready for this market open. Where do we go today, up or down?
No.
Full margin, whatever you guys say. Any idea what bias Fed Waller has? I'm not sure. Yeah, I don't know what they're gonna say. We got Fed speakers at 10 and I think like 12 or 1 or something today.
By the remainder of Avangrid that it does not already own, would be for 35.75 per share according to sources.
And a little trapped here into the open, into these highs.
And just worth noting, Avangrid closed yesterday at 37.53. Price being quoted by Reuters here for the rest of those shares, 35.75.
That'd be kind of interesting to see this thing peak a all-time high by like a few points
Candles
and
before
start
it sells
selling.
off.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how I see it too. That's honestly where I think we're going. All-time high, retest it, break it, sell off. Let's see. Yesterday the close was interesting though. Strong selling. We shall see. First, still 10 minutes usually tell who has more momentum. So.
I'm fairly absorbed into this like 24.
Sell it.
Sell it, market sell it.
Where is the good old short pre-market days?
We should have just sold at 24 where they just got absorbed. That was a pre-market move right there. got 3 minutes. Just sit here in silence as this thing just sells off. 2 minutes. The longest 2 minutes of all time. That's why I have the camera on. You gotta be kidding me. What is this? Why are they doing this now? 20 seconds until the open, they're starting to slump it from that top. Coulda, woulda. Ding, 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 ding. We're back to where we started. Let's see. Let's see what we get here. That's a bit weaker here. Doo, doo, doo. holding that 24 again, where they got a little stuck on the spoos. Decent selling trying to come onto this. A lot of sellers at that 21. Let's see. Oof, big buy. Nasdaq showing some weakness under the 670.
Some commentary from the ECB policymaker Kazakhs on the path to 2% inflation. Monetary policy is working.
Nasdaq looking a lot weaker here. Expecting to see some kind of follow through on the spoos. Nas getting beat up here. Spoos still hanging on barely. There's a lot of selling going on this.
We're short both, right?
I couldn't pick up the Nas. A lot of selling, not crazy follow through. So like a limbo area right now. I just think like if we can't follow through on like the spoos here, that like you're most likely, if we go and test that like 24, you're gonna see a decent pop through, and we're just gonna completely shift this thing. Like they're trying to sell into this like 19 right now, like POC area, and like it's the follow through is kind of butt. Like Nas trying to get absorbed into 640, which sucks. Decent selling continuing. Attempted. Alleged selling.
A lot of buying here, 19.75, 600 on the bid.
Yeah. Like Nas got a little too trapped into those lows.
I'm short Nas, not Spoos.
Just for those who are keeping an eye on cocoa markets, Ivory Coast cocoa
It's it's like I don't know. These guys getting a little too trapped into that low area, like 19. Give us a little more time. Nasdaq's like rebounding pretty aggressively.
Jumping higher right now, yeah. Reversed pretty aggressively. Took one off. I still have risk on the other one here, but like, yeah, my stop is a 72, so it's 360.
I like the idea of the shorts in here, but like you got like a lot of selling into that low, and then like nothing really happened from there.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Like they attempted to sell on both and couldn't get very far.
Yeah. We're in a limbo area right now too. Like
No, yeah.
since selling off the open now, like let's see if they move through this. I still like the idea of the short realistically. But we need to start moving under 19 on the spoos. And Nasdaq just a little like they got absorbed at 640 on Nas, which kind of sucked. What are the meme names doing? Oops, that's the wrong one. GME. Down a lot. What is let's see some of this tech. With Nas, like I don't know. If they trade 670, I'm gonna get interested, potentially see a little short there, but like actually that would pull it a bit too high, but that's where they got trapped. These spoos, geez. I gotta dump through this 19 and we're cooking. A lot of tech is holding out. Spoos, I keep trying to sell into that like 19 and getting just like bid back up. Like a lot of negative delta here. Come on. Where's the power of the sell? 18 and a half. All right, Spoos is untradeable right now. If they don't break this 19, I'm like, whatever.
Same thing on Nas, honestly. They need to get below those 40s. Like, this is otherwise the day becomes meh. Like a range between like mid 40 and like mid 60 is like honestly, I feel like the better short was on the spoos, like good trade, Vic. I don't know. I just didn't want to put too much risk, and I've been trading Nasdaq a lot more recently, so kind of yeah.
Yeah, I think I missed that Nas, honestly.
I think I missed
Like,
that spoos. That looks like a cleaner setup because like they really got trapped into this region the first time around. I think spoos is the better trade because like
yeah,
Nasdaq, like as you were saying, like the main area is the 70, it's not the 60, but I'm short lower.
Yeah, but it's okay still. I'm just like with Nas, I got like really trapped into that like 40. So I was like, ah shit. And then the spoos, they like keep selling into 18, 19, nothing happens. Like when I blinked, literally blinked, and we just like popped back up into the open into that 24. I was like, okay, like this like is worth a shot. And then like I'm getting like 5, 6 points, which is honestly fine. Like but if they keep selling into this low and Nasdaq does the same shit, and then they just keep like bidding back up, they're getting fairly trapped into this area, which like not that I'm gonna start flipping long at 18, but I don't know. It's a very tight garbage region because you have like a 5 point area that's like this imbalanced ledge.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like I'd like to see
You know,
Nas like 610, you know.
yeah. You know the Boxy saying like trading is like watching paint dry. This is like it right now. You just have to wait and see if they take
Like
out that low or not.
high and grass grow all at the same time. Okay, 18 on spoos, 17s. Okay, this is solid. Nasdaq has to break these lows. Come on, the second Tesla absorption just keeps selling the shit out of this. Nas break 640. Like looking at this Nas, I don't know. Like, could I have gotten filled? Maybe. Spoos is only getting to 17. You're seeing a lot of delta into here. They're still selling into the low, which is cool, but they need to sell more into the low.
Nasdaq looks like it's gonna break the 40. That last re-offer was pretty strong, but
Yeah,
hey,
there
I
you go.
hope.
16s on spoos. This could be the move. It could be nothing.
Yeah.
Pretty aggressive rebid on those sellers on the spoos into that low. It's still good standing for the short as long as we hold under like 19, 20. At this point, like if I get taken out of the rest of these, like I'm probably just gonna wait for like either the 5,300 area to trade on the spoos or like rip it back above this like 25. Like
Yeah.
with Nas as well, it's just like Nas is super stuck into this low right now. They need to sell a little more aggressively. 'Cause, like, if they keep selling into this, like 18, 19, 20, like I'm just gonna wait for like either the 5,300 area to trade on the spoos or like rip it back above this like 25. Like with Nas as well, it's just like Nas is super stuck into this low right now. They need to sell a little more aggressively. It's like an inside day from the overnight session right now, which is pretty bad. Look at the delta that's accumulated on this NAS. Oh, geez.
Yeah, man. At 40. A lot of selling. And it keeps popping every time I retest it, so I don't know.
Yeah. It'd be like an order flow long from this like mid 640 on the NAS.
Yeah, it's not a bad trade. It's a range trade. That's a ranging market so far.
Yeah, Spoo's like rebounds 20. That was a fat bid against like big sellers into that 16. We're not in interesting areas right now. Like if I play it off of like distributions, Nasdaq's kind of in the middle of areas. Yeah, they're getting absorbed into this like 640, but the reaction on the buy isn't anything that I'm that appreciative of if I'm trying to fade this long here. Like I'd rather just stick to like what did we have here? 610-ish. Yeah.
Don't break here. I swear I'm gonna reverse. This is torture.
It's coming.
Come on. Come on. Timmy, push.
Oh my god. They're selling a lot into that low on Nas. Jeez.
Yeah. They can't pop higher here. Everybody's gonna get excited and get long. Just need to sell.
Like a
50,
few
80
points
on the
lower.
sell.
My god. The spoos are
Around 10 minutes now.
happy down here.
However, we are due to get the
Flat.
leading
I don't want it.
indicators for
Can
April.
I have it?
April's leading index seen down 0.3%, matching the prior rate.
One of the things that's stopping me from taking this NAS long right now is the level is kind of middle
In the
of
middle of
nowhere
nowhere. Yeah.
with like continued pretty aggressive selling. The buy side on this isn't like something that I would deem as like super reactive. Like if I had to rank it from 1 to 5 in terms of conviction, 1 being the lowest, I'd give it like a 2 with like a tighter stop, smaller size long. But like I'm not gonna do it. I'm gonna try and take the setups that I'm best at. I am saying there's a chance, a 40% chance if we want to do the math. Oh yeah, it's freaking OPEX too. Monthly OPEX. What month is it? May? Shite. I completely forgot about that.
I didn't even know until he said it.
I might be a 1 trade hero today. Like who knows how long it'll take to get into areas I care about. Yeah, Fatty, let's open up what's it called? The real estate pages for Egypt and Bulgaria again.
Look for houses. Uh, yeah, man. I flattened it. I flattened the NQ short, bro. Like it just like kept pushing. I did like it broke by like 4 points, something ridiculous. I didn't like it. But right now, like it's holding lower. Maybe I rushed the exit. It is what it is. That was 64, 62, all the way down into like 40s. It's not a bad trade. Could have had more, could have had less, depending on the next sequence to play out. But right now, it's just I don't have anything. I wish I shorted the S&P with you. I don't know. I chickened out, to be honest. I don't have
Well, dude,
any way else to put it. It's
The
just
Nas dropped like 30 points. The S&P dropped like 6, 7. Like it's
yeah. Double dipping is always good, Vic. Let's just, and they move in sync. Like it's not like this one's gonna drop and this one doesn't. It's just this one extends or why it's a little wider than the other. But it was a good short all around. Was just curious if it extends.
I'm glad we're on the right side of the first move here.
Yeah, absolutely. Makes a lot of difference. When you get caught on the wrong side early, things spiral down quick, you
Yeah,
know? So yeah,
fast.
that's the main thing. Stay on the right side early. Last Friday as well, we had like this sell looking day for kind of rallied. You know, the today kind of looking and shaping the same way. So we're learning.
Finally.
What's the volume like today?
Um, where is it?
Daily volume.
240,000 right now, 30 minutes into the session. That's pretty shit.
Mhm. No wonder why movement has been dull this whole week. Like, look, it's been a good week, a lot better than the last week. It's just like the volume. I don't think we've seen like past 180 off the open, you know. So shit volume. So you're getting sideways movement. Hmm.
Yeah, Milos, you count the overnight volume as well. Because like I want to look at the volume that leads into the session so I can get a good gauge of what the potential expected movement of the day looks like. Because like if we come into it, like Mike was saying, CPI, what was it, 250, I think? We came into
Yeah.
the open with 250,000 contracts on CPI. So like you're expecting a little bit more and like, yeah, it delivered, right? It was solid. Today we come in, I can't remember what we came in with. But right now that it's like 240, 250, whatever it is, like 245 right now, like I don't like this. I still think that there's bearish order flow momentum going on right now. It's just like you account for OPEX and like the extent of the fluid expansions decreases substantially. Like I got taken out of the rest of that spoos on that pop into 20, like from 23, 24 area short. Like I was taking probably on average like 5 or 6 points off this, which is like honestly, if we're trading in a 8 point range, I'm taking 6. Like I'm
I'm
fair.
doing good.
Yeah.
I'm,
The only case for me to buy this right now, in my opinion, is going to be down into that like 5,300 area, or if we swing into like 30 and we hold that mid to low 20. Otherwise, like I don't want to jump in front of all of this selling down into this low, specifically on NAS, right? NAS is like 20 points shy, 30 points shy of an area that I more like where there was proven imbalance before. So like there's a case for the long here. There is for sure because like there's absorption that's happening into the lows. The rebid is fairly solid, right? But like I said, if I rank it on conviction, I'm leaning towards like 40% at this point. They keep selling NAS into the low. S&P's like scratching its ass like in the middle of this range. So like we abandon S&P, we look at NAS.
Damn. Nasdaq did what I wanted it to do just 10 minutes later.
This is why I don't love this long here. They just keep selling, selling, selling.
I got out of the short too early. I should have VSA'd.
Well, if this S&P
Big
trades
selling now.
3,500, then I've gotten out of the short as well too early. Here's a Nas. Fuck, I wish I got that 670 area. I was just too slow, I guess. S&P though, look at what's going on here with the spoos. Nas posted a huge sell and then a rebid into that 620. I guess it's fairly close to the area I care about, but watch the spoos start flying higher here. Not the thing is, I'm not getting my setups right now, so like, this could have been a low on Nas. I'm starting to get more interested in this Nas potentially bottoming out here.
Pop above 44, you know, then on a rebound until like 36 or something, I'll pick it up. That was a decent pop after they got really stuck. Negative 200 on the delta and the low mid-20s. So,
Hmm.
The leading index down 0.6. That's a bit worse than
Spoos are
expected.
about to go on a run here.
Down 0.3. That's the US leading index for April, negative 0.6. Consensus was for a negative 0.3 reading. And just worth noting that that is outside the bottom range of the consensus forecast too.
Run to like 24. Watch on these retests where they got pretty accumulated. Like, I don't know if that net sees a 620, but that's interesting to me.
Like too rich for me Nasdaq is right now. Like I'm not gonna bid 38. But I do like the long side, as you were saying earlier, is just
Yeah, we're like directionless right now, but like
yeah.
I think we're gonna go for a little pump. Like, look at the spoos right now. Like, I can't really
What's
do
who's up to?
like it's gonna run, I think, but like these areas that are traded are kind of shit. Like where, like maybe like 19 long, 20 long, and then you get aggressive there. Michael got 635 long nose.
Nice, Michael. Nice. Nice.
They're gearing up for a move higher at this point, but then like I started to get skeptical with this little OPEX sideways movement that's transpiring. Now's like the one to trade for sure. Look at these moves that are happening. Yeah, I haven't seen anything that sets up that I'm able to get on board here, so I just have one. Like that's it. Rare, I know. The more Spoos trades into this 20, the less I want to even look at it. Shut the chart down. Honestly, this could go either way at this point.
As a reminder, next up on the schedule in just under 10 minutes time, potential commentary from Fed Wallow has done both.
Last month, OPEX daily max.
Innovation and technical standards. Those remain to be seen exactly how much of it all will get in relation to monetary policies from it. And it's not clear if we should be expecting
Fed speaker.
the event either.
Dump it. Dump it.
Watch Naz into those low 30s. Might be a good opportunity to get long.
Yeah. I think the best course of action for me right now is just to wait for these like larger areas to trade. Like personally, I would like to see NAS around 610, but will that happen? And Spoo's around 5305, but is that a reality? Things are still structurally bearish right now. Nas is just amassing all over the delta into the lows. Decent selling into this low on the spoos. $500. Nas trying to go as well. Come on, get to the area. Faster, faster. They're getting trapped into these lows.
On spoos?
On everything.
Fully telecom sector, contributed by Bloomberg. Germany said to be closing in on a Huawei 5G ban, and does come though despite opposition from the digital ministry.
Let's see. Much rather than just like trade the lows already, though, you know. I don't want to trade no man's land.
What's the key extreme you're waiting for on NAS 600?
Yeah, around there. It's not far.
Yeah.
I don't want to play this like range chop bullshit game. I can see they're getting trapped, but like I said before, like the conviction I have on the moves into these like midpoint areas is fairly insignificant.
For Duke Energy, majority of parties have come to a proposed agreement in the Duke Energy Carolina's rate review request. Of note for Cisco SYY, Teamsters in the Long Island area do ratify a new contract for the name.
A lot of delta into slow on these spoos. Like this 18 is trading 1200 negative delta.
Just from Fed's Waller does not comment rather on monetary policy or the economic outlook. Get no comments on policy or the outlook at that payments innovation conference.
Oh no, 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 no. What's worse than watching paint dry? Tell me what is worse. Digging ditches. Fair. If this was at a key area and it wasn't OPEX, this would honestly be looking like a pretty nice long setup. Right now, the conviction just like so freaking low on it though. Look at all that deltas accumulated into that low on the NAS.
I know,
Squeeze.
man. I keep looking at it. It's just like I talked myself out of the long. I don't know. I'm directionalist on the day, so yeah. Are you long anything, Vic? Take any more
Dude,
trades other than that? Nice.
I'm like, I was looking at it like, they're stuck into the lows. Like, do I do it? Then I'm like, do I put the risk on this type of bullshit? Like, it didn't seem appropriate.
You brought up two important points, the OPEX, and the fact that we're far away from key levels makes like the need to trade or the trading less likely into these areas. So yeah, it's better to stay away.
Yeah, I don't see the point right now. You can put yourself in a very shitty situation trading these like midpoint areas to wrap up a Friday. Like, is that really what you want to do? Here comes along. How far is it going to go? Nice. Well done, Ian. Switched over to Sierra.
Nice long, Michael. If you grab those like low 30s again, it's a good area. It's just a matter of risk appetite. I don't want to trade too much, but if you lean on that, your first area is 50 and above that, you really get the run. Right now, it's a 50-50. I kind of took the back step, kind of like Victorio, just, yeah. That's how it's been, honestly, for this last week, one or two trades, and I don't try to do more. It's been working. That whole week has been green. So
Yeah.
hey,
Like, listen, the absorption and the trap into the low, I don't think it was like a terrible trade, right? Like I was saying
Or
low
the level.
conviction, but like for me, it was just an order flow trade. And like I took one short today. I'm up a solid bit here, and like I don't know, like I just didn't want to risk it in these midpoints. It was a solid
Yeah.
order flow trade. I just didn't love the area. That's why I didn't like jump into this. And
I
like
think
you got
to me
you
is
gotta be careful with it too. Let's say you get 20 points or like 4 or 5 points on the 20 points on the NAS, 4 or 5 points on the SPOOs. If I was on this line, I'd be like cutting it. I'd be snipping this. Like you get this much absorption. Look at this delta into the low. Order flow, why not? Right? Like I don't think it's a bad trade. Like I just for me it decreases the conviction when it's not in a great area. I think from an order flow standpoint, this trade was like maybe 3 out of 5 conviction wise. They rebid decently. They got trapped into the low. But like if I'm looking at the SPOOs, I'm like, okay, do I buy 17? And then I look at where 17 is. I'm like, what the hell am I going to be doing at 17?
yeah.
Like we're trading like a 8 point range right now. Like the top of that range is around 24, which is like the distribution area, which I didn't mind, right? That one makes a little more sense to me. Was I maybe a little too conservative on that move? Possibly.
Yeah, I think I just went to protect profits mode, like the trade was like I'd say like 2 or 3 out of 5 as you were saying. But like to me I just like didn't want to put on more risk. If you were hungry and you tried it, it's a good trade. Michael tried it, great trade. Uh, uh,
This Nas ran. Sometimes being too
50.
conservative is ugly.
Yeah. Have you been active on options, Vic, or swings? Anything else?
I closed a bunch of them out on Wednesday.
Mm.
I have some hedges that are underwater, but like I have some long VIX calls, like long volatility for the next few months, just in case we get a spike.
Mm. Hedges isn't like puts, some
Yeah, I
downside.
have like puts that like the idea
Yeah,
that
yeah, from
like
yeah,
if the whole premium gets burned out, like I'm fine with it.
yeah.
Huh. One trade today. No NASDAQ trades today, which is a little surprising, but like with NAS, like look, this DOM, nothing. With NAS, what I liked about this, or what I was looking at least, like you get reoffered right down here, 25s. Look at the accumulation of all this delta. You got a 10-point area of just like trap. Nice rebids on it, holds fairly well. I didn't play it. If it was maybe another day, maybe I would have put some risk on it, but I feel like I tapped out like on Friday. Like
Literally,
tapped out
yeah.
just a little mentally, like realizing it's OPEX. I had one solid trade and then I think I just mentally disappeared. Like you can see a big seller comes in, rejects, comes in again, rejects, all this negative delta clustered into lows. It's a very nice order flow setup. Spoos into 24, interesting. But this early exit pull up if Mike's leaving. Decent buying still continues here.
Just to acknowledge what he said from the US Treasury, Yellen set to discuss at G7 meeting proposals to bring forward future proceeds from frozen Russian assets to provide more Ukrainian funds at a quicker pace. And much is focused on Russia and Ukraine, largely touching on fairly familiar themes, not adding too much from a first skim.
Now that we're coming back into an area that I thought absorbed and rejected twice on the spoos, we could be in for a decent leg higher here. Let's see if they just continue buying this. You start breaking into like 30-ish area, we might see this just trend to the upside.
Brain point on China. Yellen said to discuss the need to tackle China's excess industrial capacity in key sectors, and also touching on the new US tariffs we've seen announced earlier in the week.
I could start seeing this move higher here. I wouldn't get too selly right now.
or Deutsche Telekom, the names come to an agreement in collects with the Verdi Union.
IB is complete. We're now trading C period. Let's see if C wants to close outside of the IB. Hey, Kyle, I think. Ban the Traders podcast, or might be Baba, one of you two. How you guys doing today? How was the trading session? Very slow OPEX movement here. I was trying to decide, should I take the long on the NAS into that like mid 20? They're getting stuck, spoos too. I didn't do it. One trade for me today. I went in like profit protection mode after the first like 40 minutes. Freaking didn't do shit. There's nice expansion on this. Longs from mid 30s. That's good. And 630 on the NAS. I presented it order flow wise, like I think there was a good opportunity there. I think I'm just gonna try this short, honestly.
Short on spoos or NAS? Spoos.
665, 670 NAS. Ba, ba, ba.
Just worth acknowledging in the FX space, seeing a bit of a turnaround in fortunes for the dollar, just down towards that 104.50 mark, getting back on 104.48 low. Not so much by way of fundamental driver, but highly about face, which is benefiting FX peers across the board. Because in contrast to the general dollar strength that's been in play throughout the session thus far.
I might just flatten these, honestly. I feel like I'm just getting myself into a boredom trade.
It's just like there's a lot of accumulation of buyers into these regions, yes, but it's also like no real selling coming in to support the idea. But it is a top of an extreme, like it is like, you know, like as far as an area, you have like the value area low, value area high from the overnight session up until like D70, 75s. I don't know, like I didn't do it down at the 30 Vic. I'm not gonna do it here, but I think you can leave it. You're up on the day too, so
Yeah, I don't know if I want to like risk these profits, honestly. Might be more of a boredom trade, not seeing too much of the reaction.
yeah, I can see it being that as well. Victorio Stefanov only has one trade a day. I wouldn't believe it. I wouldn't. I wouldn't.
I know, seems surreal. Like we're pressing into this like positive delta here, and like the test of these, if they keep buying it, I don't know. It doesn't look like they're gonna fail too hard. Into OPEX, like it looked a lot better into those lows. Right now, like decent bid holding this up.
We spent quite a bit of time too down at these lows, like flirting between those low 30s and mid 20s. So and the accumulation took a while to play out. So I see the same picture here for those 70s. Previous resistance on Nasdaq where buyers got stuck. If they're gonna hold, they're probably gonna take a while. So you gotta be patient with it. I don't know.
And they keep buying into this high. I don't think this is a good trade. I'd lean on more of an expansion higher at this point. I'm up 2 points on the NAS after that. I wasn't on that long, and I think the long continues here.
Google Maps has a DOM. That's funny, Brian. Oh.
Just as mentioned, that downside in the dollar continuing, index down to a 104.43 trough, just continuing to benefit peers modestly across the board. In terms of the standout movers from this, seeing some quite pronounced moves in dollar yen, fading fairly markedly from that earlier 155.98 peak. Still some way though until rather now getting back to the trough at 34. In terms of a broader price action, not really having too much flow through just yet, and should be very much focused in the FX space at this moment in time.
You're still on that short, Vic, or did you scratch it?
I scratched it a little while ago.
Yeah. Probably a good call, bro.
The retest of this prior absorption area, there's a higher probability you just like flush this thing higher.
Yeah.
Strong bullishness on this order flow too. Very, very slow day. I think there was one solid trade on that as well. Maybe two. One solid one I saw very clearly, and then I think one on the spoos today. Like right now, the speed of this and like the way it's like fluttering around, I don't really have the best of reads. It was a lot easier to dissect into those lows. Like if it drops here, then like I cut it for no reason. But I didn't really want to accept that risk. Based on how it's holding though, I think the pullback is minor before you start to see a press through higher. The reaction on the flow right now is fairly slow. Nas is trying to get trapped now, like 675.
Wanna do the full Vic?
Yeah, I'm just staring at this like, fuck, do I try it again?
I know those ones. I'll try it with you, Vic. I'll do it like 72. Ferrell's back up there. A lot of absorption. It's just like might be like take a while. So I'll just try it like very small. See if we get it.
A rush to make more rate reductions will remain data dependent. In terms
I'm
of
really thinking this right now because it's not like the fluidity of the movement isn't that great for me to make a good decision.
Yeah.
2 quarters. So again, it's stating they were premature in the March action. Not in a rush to make any more moves, and it does not foresee a move as being likely in June.
I'll leave us alone, honestly. I think I'm done on the day.
Bear in mind on the geopolitical front, journalists noting that around 40 minutes time, so at 4:30 London time, a unplanned announcement will be made by the Israeli principal spokesperson, according to Stein. So again, around 40 minutes time, so a announcement will be defense forces is being labelled as a factor. So
There could be a little push that got absorbed. I don't know. I'm up like 22 points on this. I don't really want to, like on this day, I don't really want to risk it. We're coming back into an area of an absorption. Like at this point, I think pullbacks are shallow before we continue to move higher. Like, it's not as fluid, it's not as clear right now. So the best thing for me to do is just leave it alone. Yeah, probably moves higher. Have a good weekend, those that are leaving.
All right, TRADEPRO Academy, let's close this call out in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Oh, a lot of people broke even. Did you guys not trade?
Yeah, on this like kind of sideways day, it's not that.
Opportunistic. Yeah. I'm like, I'm on this short on from 72. It's kind of hovering around my entry. Not a clear read on the order flow. I just like that there was previous absorption here prior. So around the 72, 75, and yeah, just try and get small size, and it's not looking very bright. Anyway, break even is good on a day like today. Not much opportunity to a Nasdaq and one boost. Thank you for the numbers, Boxy. Sorry, I just seen them.
They've been there.
You wanna wrap up oil?
I do. So, oil has really kind of sort of just continued to be flat, rotating around its VWAP. I mean, if anything, I guess you could say it's a range, with the upper edge being 79.14 and the lower edge being down around the 78.70s, but the VWAP's dead in the middle of the range, which is never a really good thing. So just use a lot of caution if you're going to continue to trade it this afternoon. Whatever you do, monitor your risk, trade like a trade pro, and preserve that capital. Gentlemen, thank you for another great day, another great week. I hope you gentlemen and all of Trade Pro Academy has a great rest of today and a great weekend, and we'll see everybody on Monday. Ciao.
Thank you, Boxy. Appreciate you, sir. Guys, like between the two polls and the break even, it's at 70%. But like a lot of break even in today's session, which is a good thing. Two opportunities on Nasdaq, the long 30s and the short mid 60s earlier on the session. And right now, like those 70s are fighting for their life. S&P, the best trade was short 24 with Vic. Those were like the only three opportunities that I seen today, honestly, and like I didn't see it wasn't that interesting or that opportunistic of a day. So you take the cards that you're dealt, and if you're break even today, it's a win. Honestly, you didn't go in and over trade this. Good, not a bad results. So yeah, good work. Right now, I'm just like I got myself into those 70 short. I like that the previous absorption as well as the volume accumulating. If you take a look at the TPO, you're
Fatty, did he blow out? Yeah, it seems Fatty ran away. So there,
All right.
Fatty got margin called. They just took him
sorry,
physically.
sorry, sorry, my bad. Fucking thing died. But yeah, that's it.
Yeah, like into these highs, I can see the case, but like it's getting a little slow, and the more it grinds around, the more I lose the conviction for the trade. So I scratched out of it. Like I took like a few points on the NAS, on that short, which is like not worth it really, but took like a point, not even on the spoos on that short after I cut it. But like you can make the case for the short into here. They're trying to get trapped. There's some sellers, but like the more it hangs out, the more they attempt to buy, the more they move sideways, the less I care about it realistically, and that's why I just took it out. Um, the I like looking back on that Nas long, it looked pretty juicy. I don't know. I couldn't put myself in a position to buy it where we were fairly close to a level. We weren't that close for me to put the risk on. It was just order flow, and I was like, you know what, OPEX, one trade on the spoos earlier on. I'm just gonna leave this at this point. So that's all I've done. There's potential for this short right now. I don't know. Like we got a C tail failure that closes back within the IB, so that puts some decent pressure on these buyers that could sweep a little lower. But my expectations, even on this down move, are fairly low. So break even's a good result considering the moves that we had today. And let's see, in Discord there might be something, but I'm not going to lean into any unnecessary trades into the end of this week. So yeah, one and done. We'll chat in Discord. Thanks for showing up on YouTube, guys. Not the most eventful day, but interesting enough. And this NAS and these shorts are starting to work. So that solidifies the wrap up of my day. If this works, like, I know that I'm not in a position to make continuous decisions at this point. So thanks, guys. Have a great weekend. And we'll do this again starting Monday. So I'll see you guys there.
Take care, Vic. Take care, Trade Pros.